What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with the Sultan of Sando, Mr. Gablim, and Mr. Maui Yap, the Prophet himself. And today, sakto Maui, kailangan natin yung powers mo because we are going to predict the Season 89 UAAP Award. So, kailangan ng prediction powers mo, Mr. Prophet. This is part of a series of UAAP Season 89 preview episodes that we're doing to lead up to Season 89. Kasi malapit na siya. I think like less than or about a month from now. So, for today's awards prediction, we are going to talk about MVP, Season 89 MVP, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, and we have one more award. We'll talk about it later. It's a surprise award. So let's get started. Why don't we start with the MVP and the Prophet himself, Mr. Maui Yap?
Ako, if I were to choose an MVP for next season, I would probably put my coin, my bet on one of my favorite players, diba? Who I think will get a lot more usage this coming season. I think it will be the second straight year that an MVP will win as a point guard in the UAAP. I will be picking si Jacob Cortez, who I think will see a bump in scoring, a bump in assists per game, but also a huge bump maybe in turnovers because the ball will be in his hands a lot of the time. I don't know yung effect ni Tovera right now because he was very impressive, diba, in that tournament, in the tournament that they had in Japan. Daming highlights ng Tovera, but I still think Jacob Cortez will try to win the MVPs in his last UAAP season. I think he will average probably over 15 a game and maybe close to 6-7 assists. Couple of steals, he rebounds the ball pretty well. So I think he will put up a lot of stats on the board with LaSalle looking to repeat as champions. I do expect LaSalle to make the Final Four, and I think that should be a good case for him getting the MVP award. I think that they will go to him a lot in the clutch now that I think he's one of the maybe a few who can create his own shot for LaSalle. And I'm excited. I did not expect him to be back for this season, if I were being honest, from his performance last season. I think LaSalle has invested a lot of funds to keep him from going pro. So I think he will reward them with an MVP award and potentially a return to the UAP finals. Let's see.
I was considering him,
Mm-hmm.
Maui, si Jacob. I'm not mad at it. I think he's gonna put up bigger numbers. Last year, parang hindi ko pa magets kung paano yung dynamic nila ni Kian Baclaan because both were ball dominant point guards. It didn't work, them playing together, and I think eventually when Kian Baclaan got injured, Jacob Cortez kind of cemented himself as the king archer. And when Kian came back, I think for the Final Four and eventually for the finals, he was primarily functioning as the backup point guard to Jacob Cortez. So now I think it's clearer. I don't think Tovera's gonna do much, to be honest. He won't affect Jacob Cortez that much. If anything, I think he'll be as a secondary playmaker alongside Jacob, but I don't think he's gonna cut Jacob's minutes by any chance. Coach Topex knows he needs Jacob Cortez on the floor, so yeah, I think it's a logical pick. But Sam, you want to add anything to Jacob before I give my pick?
No, it's one of my top picks, so I'm not mad at it. I think Jacob could have a dominant year this year, especially this could be his last. This is his last year with LaSalle. Gab.
Yeah. My pick, and I know this is technically not in the UAAP's rule book because they have a separate award for best FSA. We don't adhere to that here on
Nope.
Boleros.
Nope.
We count every player as eligible for MVP. So my pick is gonna be for the USC Growling Tigers, Collins Akowe. Maybe a little bit of recency bias because I just watched him against JRU yesterday put up 30 at 20 with 2 blocks. So, hindi mo alam?
Wait, 30 and
He did.
20? Hindi ko
Wait,
alam.
he
20
did.
and 14 din siya, 'di ba? Against a B-League team.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, yesterday against the JRU Heavy Bombers, they didn't have an FSA. They had Chris Ubilia, you matching up with him, who's like a foot shorter. So uh take the 30 and 20 with a grain of salt, but it was still a 30 and 20, and it still went to double overtime. And Colin Sokoe was bringing out all of the celebrations, the bows, the cooking signal. He was laughing at his defenders. He was staring down his defenders. Uh,
I love it.
yeah, if you take out all of the crazy biased rules of the UAAP of doubling assists and steals and separating the FSAs from the MVP award, I think you would be very hard to argue against Colin Sokoe because he will grab so many rebounds. He will score a lot of points. The free throw shooting has improved a bit, but he's still a bit shaky there. But it doesn't. The free throw percentage does not count into the MVP race anyway, so I don't think it matters. He's been shooting threes now in the preseason. I do remember against Ateneo in the NSAC in the semifinals, he hit 2 threes. So if that becomes a semi-constant part of his game, UAAP watch out. And to add to that, he's also a defensive beast in the paint. You don't really go in the paint with Colin Sokoe there. He's the closest thing we have had to a Shaquille O'Neal-like figure. Siguro si Ben Mbala a bit, but Ben was a different beast. He was like, he wasn't just parked in the paint. He was all over the place. So
More like a
Ben was not
Lebron si Embala eh.
Oh.
or Giannis, maybe a
Or
Giannis.
Giannis. Yeah.
or Giannis. Collins is just very different. He uses his size and his strength just pretty well. I think if you were making a pick based on stats alone, and I think UST is definitely gonna make a run for the top 2 seeds. Colin Sokoe is my pick.
I love it. I love that all three of us have different MVP picks. Colin Sakoe, definitely up there on my list. And Jacob Cortez. Those are two of the top teams that we're expecting to make it to the Final Four. I have FEU getting the MVP again, an FEU player. And I don't know if it's someone you expected, but it's someone that you guys have talked about in our previous episode. I have Kirby Moncopa actually as my MVP pick,
He
and
was on my list.
this guy is a stat sheet stuffer. I checked out yung Phil Oil stats niya. I think he's second on the team in points, rebounds, assists, and blocks. So
Kevin
he
Garnett.
can Kevin Garnett nga, 'di ba, Maui? Kevin Garnett. He can stuff the stat sheets. He has such a high basketball IQ. He can defend well. I'm sure he can grab a couple of steals also. So if you're talking about just the stats, Gab, you mentioned yung multiplier for steals and assists. I think he can get that. I think we're all pretty high on FEU this coming season. They've loaded up. They've got a ton of talent. So I think they didn't make it to the Final Four last season. Actually, it was Ateneo's fault. But I think this season, they're gonna have a chance to make it to the Final Four or become one of the top teams. So I think they're going to be a winning team. Lastly, I think for me, Kirby Moncopa, he's coming in healthy. Last season when he started out, you could see he was out of shape. Came off the bench, but by the end of the season, you could see how comfortable he looked. And the entire off season, he's looked very comfortable. By the way, why I also picked FEU. I know Coach Sean Chambers is going to play him to the ground. He's going to play him 30, 35 minutes a game. So he's gonna get a ton of usage.
Wait lang, may capable backup na siya sa amin. So I don't think,
That's true.
I I don't
But
think
that's
35. Close to
mga
30
28,
meron.
mga 28.
Oh.
But that's also part of my my argument. I think Kirby Moncopa has a ton more capable guys with him. Kirby is a guy who likes to play make, who likes to give that assist as much as score. So I think getting more capable guys around him will bump up that assist stat for Kirby Moncopa. So he's my pick is another FEU player, but it's going to be Kirby Moncopa for MVP.
I like the Kirby pick. I mean, all three of these guys were in my top list. You can include a guy like Noy Remogat. He was also there. I mean, again, given the multiplier of assists and steals, although I don't really count that, but I think is Noy Remogat is undoubtedly
Mm-hmm.
the number one option in UP anywhere. I don't think there's any more trouble between him or like what happened yung last season. It's now really him. So I think I still think the Mythical Five is positional, so it's gonna be between him and Jacob Cortez and maybe si Jandre Pasol trying to grab that those guard spots. Depends also whether a guy like si Humamoy and Bahay can actually maybe make a case for the Mythical Five. But definitely si Noy Remogat was in my list. Si Kirby, Mythical Five luck, I think. Barring any injury or whatever, Mythical Five lock, Kirby Moncop. I don't think there is a better power forward, including si VJ Pre. I don't think VJ is at the same level right now as Kirby Moncop. As crazy as it is to say, Kirby just has a better game, better all around game. If you're talking fantasy basketball, his stat profile is complete. He does everything on the court. So I don't know. Name a better power forward right now in the UAAP. I don't think there is one than Kirby Moncopa. So I love the Kirby pick. He was also in my on the top of my list. I just can't knock down knock off the stats that Collins Akowe and the wins that UST is
Yeah.
gonna get for season 89.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
actually,
wins
to be fair,
matter. I
basketball.
just wanna I just wanna reiterate that wins matter. Last year was crazy that a MVP came from a non-final four team. I just wanna let it out there. Wins matter. Getting to the final four matters.
Diyan lumalabas yung yung pagka-flawed ng
Flaws, no?
formula.
Mm.
Somebody not even a contending team for the championship got the MVP award. But yeah, I think si Kirby Moncopa posting KG like numbers, diba? If may fantasy basketball ang UAAP, it'll probably be one of the first picks. But I'll just give one honorable mention for MVP. I think si Gab mentioned si Akowe, I'll mention si Jello Crisostomo, who I think will be a Kirby Moncopa light
Mm.
in terms of numbers this season. He also has been racking up assists, steals, and blocks in the preseason. So another person who I'm excited to see if my next level pa this coming season.
Okay, let's move on to the next. Let's talk about the rookie of the year. So, let's start with you this time, the Sultan of Sandos. Sino ang pick mo for rookie of the year for season 89? I wonder kung pare-pareho tayo dito.
I was gonna say that. I think this is gonna be a unanimous pick by all three of us. I don't know if someone's gonna go with the Cabs Cabonillas from FEU, but they just keep for Alas, rookie of the year. Now we know that Ateneo's eligible to play, and we just saw them play a while ago. And Keeper Alas has the green light of all green lights, especially from his daddy. Um, he's gonna get a lot of shots and he's gonna get a lot of minutes. He's now starting under Coach Tab. I think he was the playmaker off the bench. Now he's starting alongside Bahay. It it looks like the ball is in his hands for what 60 to 50% of the time with him and Bahay taking on those playmaking duties. I don't think anyone has as big of a role. Yun thing eh. It's not that Kiefer is, far and away the most talented rookie of the bunch, is that he has the biggest role of the bunch. His role is as big as anyone in the UAAP. He's like option 1A/1B yung next to Jared Bahay. So, I don't think you can argue for anyone. Si Cabs Cabrinas is still coming off the bench. Si Tovera is a backup to, or maybe I don't know, a third backup. I just remembered na si Jason C. there also. So I'm not sure what Tovera's role is yet. So yun, those are the only rookies I can really think of who can make a dent. Si Kirk Cañete, maybe, there's two guys, Umawan, um, still have si Ivan Calum and si Liemit and si Asido are basically function as the lead players anyway. So I'm not really sure if there's anyone else who can actually make a run at the rookie of the year. But I think si Kiefer Alas, barring any injury or any whatever nonsense that happens, I think this is his award to lose.
Maui, did you go with Kiefer?
Yeah, actually gulat ako kasi kala ko yung unanimous pick na sinasabi ni Gab nung una si Cabonillas, but it all really makes sense that si Kiefer Alas. I think all of the people who were spreading misinformation regarding Kiefer Alas being jealous of Butterbonia was ludicrous at best. Craziness. This guy is one of the few players that we believe could be the future of Philippine basketball. Could have gone to a Division 2, maybe a low tier Division 1 team in the NCAA. Was one of the top players in FIBA Asia. That's not very easy to do. Not a lot of players do that. It was one of the reasons why I was very high with Mason Amos before. I think si Alas's potential will probably be unlocked once he plays point guard full time. But this is the same case as when Kiefer Ravena was playing as the two guard nung seniors division. I think in majority of his playing years here in the Philippines, if he continues to play for Ateneo or in the UAAP, I think Kiefer Alas will score a lot of points and play as a scoring guard. Not as a traditional shooting guard, but as a scoring guard for Ateneo. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was in the top 5 or top 10. Maybe top 10. Top 5 is too crazy to say. Top 10 in scoring for the UAP season next year. Actually, nakakatawa because I was talking to a friend na
Hindi na next year, Maui. In a few weeks.
In a few weeks, yeah. In a few weeks, I mean. In a few weeks, I mean. But I was talking to a friend na taga Letran and is a diehard Letran. Apparently, he says that si Louis Alas has a bias when it comes to playing and giving uses to his son, just because of Junjun Alas before. But that will not be the case. This is like his kuya, di ba? When he was one of the top scorers in the NCAA. Kiefer Alas really deserves to get playing time. Kiefer Alas deserves to get usage, and I think he will make the most out of it. He will probably hit 2-3 pointers a game next season and get to the line a lot based on what I've seen in the preseason. And yeah, I would be surprised if he doesn't average double figures for this season. 14 points is, I think, a good barometer. 14 to 16 points.
Yep, agree. We all picked Kiefer Alas. I think I expected that to be unanimous. Just yung usage niya with Ateneo. Kahit naman hindi si Coach Louis Alas, I think whoever will be coaching Ateneo, they cannot deny the talent of this guy and the need of Ateneo to have a scorer, a go-to guy like Kiefer Alas for this coming season. So I think it is going to be Kiefer Alas.
Ang kalaban lang talaga ni Kiefer Alas is getting a suspension because if there's one thing we talked about this in our last episode regarding Ateneo's first game. He takes after his kuyas and his dad, and he's very physical. Magadive yan for loose balls. I think he was called for an unsportsmanlike foul. I don't or basta a loose ball foul. I think he hit someone in the head or something. He's physical also. So, yun ang kalaban niya. I do sorry, excuse me. I do remember si Kian Baklaan getting losing the rookie of the year in season 85 because of faking a foul. Diba? Diba when he
Flying
would
kick. Eh.
always yung mga flying kick niya, nahulog siya and he got suspended and he lost the rookie of the year. So yun ang kalaban ni Kiefer Alas. Hopefully wala, but given the attitude and the style of play that Ateneo plays with now, I won't be surprised if he does get a suspension. So, yun lang.
Okay, moving on. Let's go to Coach of the Year before we go to our fourth and final surprise award of the season.
Wait, any
Honorable mentions.
Yung for Rookie of the Year.
You guys, you mentioned
unahan ko na
Cabonillas.
kayo.
I mean, go Maui.
I
Go.
think we will probably get a surprise rookie from the University of the East.
Pwede.
Oh!
Pwede. Okay, that's
I
smart.
do
That's
believe
smart.
that there will be a surprise player for UE because that team hasn't. Shout out to one of our listeners who sent us a video of UE finally playing, diba, in a preseason tournament.
Yun na parang yun. Si Topher Lagat might actually be a breakout player for this team.
Diba?
I did watch the highlights. Yung parang siya yun na yung tirador nila dun eh.
Shout out to the one who shared the video, by the way.
Yeah, and I think si Jeffrey as one if we were to ask him a rookie of the year dark horse, meron siya. The guy who played sa FEU Juniors, who I think Santos ba yung name who plays for UE, Dexter Santos. So let's see. Again, the UE is a land of opportunity.
Good pick.
So maybe we get the next Ray Mogat, diba? Or whoever from the next Gani Stevens, who averages doubles for UE, so rookie.
That's
I
a
love
great
that
pick.
pick. I did not think of that. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Galing nun.
Good
But
pick.
yeah, I think I've mentioned it. Siguro closest si Cabs Cabonillas. Mark Burgos does not get the same amount of usage or opportunities in the second unit that Cabs Cabonillas does.
Mhm.
I do think he'll see significant minutes. I don't think Coach Sean Chambers will go all the way to 30 plus. Although I do want him to be honest. I've been on the record here multiple times this offseason of him starting ahead of Jedrick Daa. So I don't know if Coach Sean Chambers will actually go that route. I still think he'll bring Cabs off the bench. So, but yeah, I think he's the closest one. I can't think of anyone else, even FSA, who can actually fight for Rookie of the Year.
Moku lang.
Okay, moving on. Let's move on to Coach of the Year. Curious where you guys are going with for Coach of the Year. Let's start with you, Sultan of Sando.
Alam mo, among all of the awards, we had 4 that we listed down. This is the most difficult one. I'm gonna go with Pido Harencio. Because I think UST has a shot to finish on top of the elimination round. And if they do finish on top of the elimination round, I think you have to give it to Coach Pido. Because in fairness to Coach Pido, he's embraced a bit semi-modern style of basketball. All of his 4 guys on the floor alongside Collins Akowe can shoot. Everyone can play make. Everyone is tall and lanky, wings galore. Sabi nga ni Maui, if there's one thing that Coach Pido wants, it's wings. And I think watching this UST team now, you add their one and done si Humawan, who was getting a lot of minutes in the NSAC World Invitational, what just finished a while ago. They're pretty deep. I think they are gonna make a push really for number 1 for that twice to beat. I'll wait and see how they match up against UP or LaSalle, but I do think the talent is there, and I think si Coach Pido will turn a lot of hearts and heads towards him, even from the UST side, because he has had a lot of critics from the UST faithful. So I think he'll turn some opinions. I think he'll change some opinions for of him for the upcoming season. So I'm going with Coach Pido Harencio. I will not be surprised if the two of you have different picks.
Oh, I like the Pido Harencio pick. With how talented his team is right now. If they end up number one, you have to give it to Coach Pido, and I think that's a high possibility. Maui, where are you going with Coach of the Year? By the way, I did not go with Coach Pido.
Actually, ako, if you were to ask me sa off-season, my coach of the year would be si Jeff Napa just because of how surprising Enyua's look. I don't know if that success will translate when the UAAP comes, but so far, I think it looks like they will be a contending team despite losing some very big names. But it's pretty hard to give him the coach of the year when they finished second, 'di ba, last year and
They
underperformed.
were
So
first.
first pala, first.
They were first. Yeah.
First because LaSalle was fourth, 'di ba? So they finished at the top of the standing. So it's pretty hard to do that. But yeah, if you were to ask me, ako, again, if I were gonna put my eggs in one basket, it's gonna be si Coach Sean Chambers, just because you will see a team rise, 'di ba, from a losing team to a championship, or maybe championship is optimistic, but to a Final Four contender. Again, I've been saying this, I think, since we started this podcast. FEU cannot start 0-4. If they start 0-4, then it will be the same story again, di ba? Be a bad team in the first round and be a good team in the second. They have to be a consistent team. They have to win some games in the first round early on, and I think they are in a very good position. They're not super hyped just because they haven't performed as high as everyone expected sa preseason, but at the same time, I think they have a lot of potential. 'Di ba? Si Zane Mahmood is out. I think si Jaden Jones is also rumored to be out. So there are a lot of big names coming into FEU, 'di ba, from the juniors program who have been very impressive. Not just si Burgos and si Cabonillas, 'di ba? So I'm excited to see how they do. Uh, to the fact to the point that si Coach Sean said that I'm so surprised that I finally have 12 or 13 good players. Parang shout out to the former backup players of the former bench players of FEU after Coach Sean said that. But yeah, I think FEU has enough talent, 'di ba, to become a successful team, and I think it's make it or break it for Coach Sean this year. If he cannot lead this team to the
Good
Final
point.
Four, I think FEU has to really assess if he is the right person to coach this program, because
Good.
they have all the pieces now.
Wala nang excuse, Maui, no? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And to that, actually, we had the same picks, Maui. So I was choosing between NU and FEU, and just like you, I just gave Coach Sean Chambers the edge because I feel like they'll be more surprising if they make it to the Final Four, or parang it's a big leap versus last season since they weren't there. I think this off-season, NU has surprised, to your point, Maui, because they've been very competitive despite losing stars like Jake Figueroa, Jolo Manansala to the team. I really did not expect NU to be this good. Hashtag free reign and Gabs boy, PJ Palacielo are still there. So I think they can still make it to the Final Four. So I gave Coach Jeff Napa the honorable mention, but I also went with Coach Sean Chambers for Coach of the Year. So, yeah, actually, dalawa for Coach Sean pala dun. Gab, anything to add before we go? Any honorable mentions on your end? Obviously, Coach Topex and Coach Gold kasi are like up
Yeah, they're
there.
expected to win.
They're
I mean,
expected. So I
it'd
didn't
be
It's
focus.
surprising if
Gavina.
they don't win.
If they get 4
Actually,
wins,
UE na
give the
naman eh,
coach
no?
of the year to Chris Gavina.
actually, I was. We only have a few choices. I mean, there are
Yeah.
teams who are not expected to do much. Ateneo, we all know the story with Ateneo. We don't expect a lot right now from the Blue Eagles, given what happened. Coach, co- every year, Coach Nash seems to be one of the picks for Coach of the Year. Pero kasi they always outperform their talent deficit.
Chicago
But I don't
Bulls,
think he. Oh, but
the UAAP.
Maui, I don't think it's gonna happen this season. It's sad to watch Adams on this offseason. Their offensive struggles are now legendary, man. They 30 points in a game. I can't. 13 points and a half. I watched them score 13 points and a half.
Okay.
So uh I don't know. I would have picked him. Chris Gavina is good, but I don't think he'll get enough wins. Good if he gets three. You
3
could
or
say,
4, bigay mo na coach of the year.
successful season for the UE Red Warriors. Um, yeah, I think it's it's between Coach Pido, Coach Jeff, or Coach Sean Chambers. But yung tama yung argument ni Maui. They were number one last year, yung NU. So what do you consider a success yung this year? Siguro dahil maraming nawala from yung due
Exactly.
to graduation, maybe that will be the narrative yung for Coach Jeff Napa on why he will get Coach of the Year. But otherwise, yeah, Sean Chambers mukhang it's his award to lose. Or si Coach Pido, because as I said, he could push for number one seed. Only number one seed, I think. Will he get the Coach of the Year?
Okay, before we end, let's do one final award for the season. And for this award, we are going to do Newcomer of the Year. So this is very different from Rookie of the Year, because when we talk about Newcomer of the Year, it doesn't have to be a natural rookie from high school. It could be transferees from, let's say, the NCAA moving to the UAAP, or perhaps transferees from abroad, like one and dones, two and throughs, guys that are coming in, playing for the first time in UAAP season and 89 that are not technically rookies. So that's Newcomer of the Year. If I look back in time, you could think of Kimani Ladi as a Newcomer of the Year last year. Luis Villegas from UE.
Oh,
Is
what a
UE
pull!
is UE gonna have a Luis Villegas again this year? Dude, when I saw Luis Villegas, I was like, who is this guy? Sobrang galing. I love yung size niya and how he stretched the floor. Fortunately, has been an injury-plagued career in the PBA with rain or shine. But that is the perfect Newcomer of the Year. So I want to go with Maui this time. Who is your pick for Newcomer of the Year?
Nakalimutan mo Sam yung I think GOAT of newcomers. Si Troy, ay na joke lang, hindi si Troy Rijkaard. Si
Grabe. Uy, shout out to
Shout-
Troy Cards for pulling that crazy
Easy
Cooper flag card.
Yeah. But yeah, kidding aside, you forgot the GOAT of newcomers. I think si Zave Lucero deserves to be
Oh,
mentioned.
good one.
I like that
He's
pick
one of the
too.
best newcomers from of the year sa UAAP. Yeah, ako I think I maybe some recency bias, but I would have to go for an Ateneo player again for this year. If you asked me last year, I wouldn't say Ladi, because my favorite player from last year was si Escobar, another one and
Oo
done
nga
and
pala.
newcomer.
Yeah.
But for this season, I would have to say si Travis Roberts, who everyone is hyping up as a potential Gilas member. And I think may recency bias ako because I just watched the Ateneo Olfu game and he scored on all three levels, driving to the basket, three-pointers, off the dribble, off passes, mid-range, creating his own shot. Very good size as a wing player in the UAAP at 6'6", rebounds the ball pretty well. Yeah, I think si Travis Roberts deserves a lot of hype coming into this season. I think a lot of people will be surprised also by how good he is. Medyo nakalimutan siya just because Ateneo was not certain to be able to play, 'di ba, for this coming season. I think this guy could easily average double figures like Kimani Ladi from last season. So let's see if he is indeed the real deal, because I want him to be the real deal, not just because of Ateneo, because I think he has a future place in the national team.
Gab.
Ako, a bit of recency bias then. I am going with Humawan from the UST Growling Tigers. I forgot his first name. You can guys search for his first name. I do remember there was a Tiebreaker Times article. Again, some recency bias because I just watched him in the NSAC World Invitational and
Landin.
Landon Humawan. Yeah, I don't know if the two of you guys watched this, but
Hindi pa nga
he played so many minutes. He was starting next to Liemit and to Asido as the point guard.
Wait, ano siya?
Uh,
Point guard siya? He
he,
plays as a point?
I think he plays as a point guard, but there are times he plays as a wing. He
Uh,
he shoots a lot. I mean, I was surprised by how many shots he was getting under Coach Pido. I'm not sure if it's just a function of Jello Crisostomo being absent. I mean, he wasn't playing in the World Invitational,
okay.
but it still surprised me of how much minutes he got at point guard, at shooting guard, and at small forward. Whether it was next to Cañete, whether it was next to Liemit, or next to Asido, or to Ice Danting, he was getting so many minutes. He was getting so many shots up. I was pretty surprised. So count me in as a newcomer of the year. I know he's not. He came in late. I don't think they have Donovan Sevilla. Remember that one and done point guard early on the preseason. I don't know if he's still there. I mean, he hasn't played in a long time, but si Humawan now has taken
Oh.
over that point guard role, and he's a big point guard. I mean, he's a huge dude.
6'4".
Yeah. So I and Coach Pito likes these types of players. Diba? Maui, you
True.
always say this. Na itong mga wings who could play as guards, who can shoot, who can rebound, who can do all of these things. This is a Coach Pido type player. I think he's gonna get minutes. I don't know if he's gonna score a lot. I mean, he has a lot of people to feed, especially si Colin Sakoe. But who knows? I think he might shock. I don't think this will be like a Chase Lane scenario. Remember Chase Lane from UST also?
Or si Estacio.
Yeah, yung or si Estacio, 'di ba? Na si Leland Estacio, akala natin yung may role siya off the bench, 'di ba? Scorer, microwave
The
scorer.
off-season
Yung pala-
superstar.
Oo nga, yung mga hindi ginagamit
Leland
pala
Estacio.
yung pagdating ng pagdating ng season. So, I hope that's not the case with Humawan, but it was a good sign that in big games in the World Invitational, next to the main rotation guys, he was getting minutes. So I'm picking him. Again, a bit of recency bias.
No, but yeah, I know you've been hype on him. Marami na rin nagsasabi sa atin na he's legit. I haven't seen this guy, so I couldn't really pick him here. I sort of cheated here and went with a similar pick with Maui. I just said like one of the one and dones from Ateneo who's like 6'6" and above, because so that's Roberts, that's Capihe, that's Baltasar, because we talked about it in the other Ateneo review episode. Ateneo is really undersized. So they need to play these 6'6" guys that are above 6'5", because they don't have a ton of like big guys that can play the center. So one of them will pop as one of the top newcomers this coming season. So that's what I went with. If I had to pick one, it's probably also Travis Roberts. Just the way that he can score, yung size niya, yung shooting niya, which Ateneo badly needs. I think that's an obvious pick for this newcomer of the year. But I love your pick, Gab. I'm curious. Gusto ko na tuloy panoorin yung highlights niya with UST just because of the way you talked about him. Any honorable mentions pa?
I wanted to pick James Payosing. I mean, I love the flashes that I saw from
Finals
Payosing.
MVP?
Oh, His shooting seems to have improved. The only problem for me is how many minutes is this guy gonna play? Because
Mm.
UP is stacked in on the perimeter. We just talked about Baila in our last potential breakouts at how much I want Baila to break out, but I'm just not sure if enough opportunity or minutes are there, given the amount of mouths that they have to feed.
Too many mouths to
So
feed.
yeah, too many mouths to feed. So I want to see Payosing get more minutes. I'm just not sure if it's available in the UP Fighting Maroons. For others, si Saibol has nung wala pa si Tovera, he was getting a lot of
Mm.
yung crunch
Yeah.
time minutes, even next to Jacob Cortez.
Yeah.
Just not sure if that's still the case with Tovera there. Trying to think of others. Parang wala na eh. Aside from the rookies.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's it for today's episode. We're almost hitting 45 minutes anyway. So, if you haven't yet, please like this video, share with your friends, subscribe, comment down below your picks for MVP, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, and your Newcomer of the Year. Let us know your thoughts. We'll see you again next time. We're going to do a lot more content for season 89. Stay tuned for that. Bye-bye. By the way, nakalimutan ko sabihin in our last episode, meron na kaming Facebook page. We're trying to
Nga pala.
put some stuff on it. Please,
Follow us on Facebook and
follow us on
Instagram.
Facebook and on Instagram if you haven't yet. Gab will put the links in the comments in the description. Thank you. Bye-bye.